So let's start now with the workflow. I think the workflow is the best way to visualize our planning approach at smartpm.solutions. And we start our planning approach with the strategic target setting. This is part of a strategic controlling overview. You can also describe your vision and your mission and the shareholder targets. You can set some group strategies and do also implement a detailed planning how to fulfill these strategies. As a next step, you would operationalize the strategy with some risk and opportunity mapping, with midterm planning, and also with top-down targets setting for the budget. And this is what we are going to investigate a little bit further. And therefore, I opened now this mask. Here we see the dimensions we are working with. So smartpm solution always works with a multidimensional cube structure where we can plan on different dimensional levels. In this case, we have now here the years. You can have the KPIs as a dimension, like revenue, new or old. You can plan in different scenarios, like in a base scenario, on the worst case or best case scenario, or even in COVID-19, in Omicron, in Delta variation. And we plan here in countries, regions, product groups, and products. And what you see right here is a visual from Power BI. It's this value tree, which is very intuitive, as I think. And this total amount breaks down at first on the countries, on the regions, then to the product groups, and then to the products itself. So this is the Power BI part. And here on the right side, this is the Actoris part. So this is responsible that you can plan now in Power BI. That makes it all possible. As you see, it is totally integrated. You can't see a difference between Power BI and Actoris. But it makes a difference because you have the write back function now to a cube that is lying behind this. So now I have to select the target I want to edit. I want to change now my new target. And I think, well, my old budget tells me to set the target very high, like 3 billion and 140 million. I think this is maybe the better way to go for my sales campaigns. And at 3 billion, 0.8 is a little bit too high. So I will decide to decrease this number by 2%, for example. And the system will give me now the new amount. I can save the new amount. Then the system will give the number back to the cube. We can refresh, and then the system will calculate the new target and will splash it down to the levels beneath in the value tree. Before that, it was 3.81. Now it's 3.73. And it is now already splashed down to the lower levels, to the countries, to the regions, then to the product groups and products. Yes, on the right-hand side, you see here now the bottom-up plan against the new target, and we see there's a gap. And now we're going to take a look at the bottom-up planning. Therefore, we're going to change again to the workflow. This is now a little bit different to the other mask we saw before. This is like a normal table format, and this is also a way your sales responsible person would probably see it. You would plan the quantity per product and the price per product, and you would allow him to plan in this structure, but you can also have it in a little bit more granular way. Here we have the dimensions. Time again, we can slice it with this widget here. You have the dimensions region and scenario and measure in price or quantity. In this example, my colleague Franz Schrattenegger is responsible to submit this sales plan. And as we discussed before, it is always possible to get in touch and to collaborate with your colleagues very easily. And therefore, we integrated this Teams button almost everywhere. And on my another screen that you right now can't see is my conversation popped up, and you can jump directly into a conversation with your colleague. And you're always able to give some comments to the numbers, like product A1, higher price, for example. And if you submit the numbers, and then you can discuss the next time on this data point, the data. If you follow now this workflow, the next point would be to do some administrative work. Therefore, we developed this planning calendar. A very similar one is in use in our project management tool. This is a Gantt diagram where we have the project phases, some milestones, and the person responsible for each task. And if you click now on, let's say, Alexander, then you will get the hours by step of his tasks, and you could easily jump also to a conversation with Alexander via mail or via Teams.